Today's show is brought to you by State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Call Ryan today at 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or visit his website, ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. Don't ever be desperate. I know it's easy to say in practice, but if you show desperation to anybody, you're going to be screwed. You will be cheated. People will take advantage of you. You will be lied to. And in the end, you yourself will be hurt. Take the Bears, for instance. Everyone knows they're desperate. It's not a secret. The Bears need a quarterback. Technically. I still believe Mitch would suffice, but I digress. The Bears need somebody under center for 2021. Reportedly, Pace and Nagy's jobs are on the line if they don't win. So they need a quarterback. They need somebody to come in and rectify the franchise. That's a tall task. You would think, in that situation, they'd be targeting the best option possible. They'd be inquiring day in and day out about Deshaun Watson. Maybe Derek Carr. They could draft somebody. A couple of good free agents out there. Re-sign Mitch. Nope. They want to bring in a broken quarterback. They want to bring in a project because they believe, get this, they could fix him. The Bears believe they can fix Carson Wentz. Sure. This came out yesterday from Albert Breer of the Monday Morning Quarterback. Quote, I think Chicago is the front runner this morning, and I do know that there's a feeling inside the building from Brian Pace, from the coaching staff, and Matt Nagy that they believe they can mechanically fix him. Right, the same people who let Mitch Trubisky's mechanics get out of control, they'll fix Carson Wentz. Don't worry. How are we supposed to believe that? We're not that stupid. Come on. We may not be smart. We may not be smart enough to make the decisions they make, but we're not that stupid either. You believe, honestly, that you could fix Carson Wentz. No chance. I've seen what you've done to quarterbacks. I've seen the guys you've signed and brought in. I know you can't do it. Mike Glennon, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, Chase Daniel. Are you kidding me? You believe you could fix Wentz? Get out of here. Somebody help me understand, okay? Wentz, statistically, was the worst quarterback in the NFL last year. Him and Foles. Worst in the NFL. And the Bears are actively considering bringing him in, giving up draft capital, paying his contract, leaving money on the books in the future for the worst quarterback in football. Have they lost their minds? Now the Bears are pushing harder for Wentz. pushing harder than the Colts. Why? For what reason? Oh, that's right, desperation. The Bears are desperate. Everybody knows it. The Eagles are desperate to get rid of Wentz. Wow. Sounds like a match made in heaven, doesn't it? Talk about bad news. Talk about bad news for a number of reasons. The Bears' future is going to be mortgaged completely for a horrible quarterback. They're going to give up draft picks. They're going to have to pay his salary. If they don't win this year, goodbye Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. And guess what? Wentz's contract and Wentz himself will still be on the books. And those draft picks, long gone. They're gone forever. The ramifications here are off the charts. And for some reason, I haven't seen much talk or much of anything related to those. All I've seen is we need a quarterback. You need to think about what happens after that. What happens after we acquire a quarterback? That should be on your mind. No one's talking about it, and it needs to be said. What's really sad about all this is that apparently this is the best the Bears could do. Really? This is the best? The best you could do is offer up so much for Carson Wentz? I thought about this today as I prepped for the show. I mean this too. The Bears have become the Browns. Tell me I'm wrong. No one wants to come to Chicago. They used to say when your career died, you'd go to Cleveland. What about now? What primo players actually want to come here? Carson Wentz doesn't. He even said it. Carson Wentz doesn't even want to come here. Think about that. The league's worst quarterback wants nothing to do with the Bears. That's profound. That's pretty significant. The worst quarterback in football does not want to be here. And the Bears are desperate to get him. And they're desperate at that position. And they're willing to mortgage the future significantly for him or for anybody. Tell me I'm wrong. The Bears are the Browns. It's official. We've seen it happen. The quarterback carousel for the Bears since 2000 has been off the charts. Same for the Browns. The Bears barely make the playoffs. Same as the Browns. Now, even the league's worst players don't want to come here. Same as the Browns. A couple of years ago, on this program, I had Demario Davis on. Demario Davis is a starting linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, but he played 1 year in Cleveland, back when they were horrible. I remember to this day what he said. I thought my career was over when I played in Cleveland. It was a horrible environment. Is that the Bears now? I know they have talent. Everybody has talent. But look at their organization. You essentially have a lame duck coach, a lame duck GM. They have support from ownership. No quarterback, no wide receivers. Regressing defense, no O-line. Which team does that sound like to you? Tell you one thing, doesn't sound like the Patriots. Doesn't sound like the Packers, the Steelers, Baltimore. No. Sounds like Cleveland before this season. The Bears are in a horrible position. I get it. I know the market itself is scarce. I mean, is it Wentz, Carr, maybe Watson? That's it for trades. And you gotta either sign a free agent or draft. I know it's tough, but that's pretty significant to me. The Bears are making a stronger push than Indianapolis, horrible as it is. We all know Wentz would do better in Indianapolis. Good O-line, more weapons, great coach. And Wentz has said he doesn't want to be here. That the Bears are still going after him. Count me in as confused. If you've got all that going against you, you should know by that point it's time to give up. Go after someone else. It's pretty apparent. Obviously, the Bears don't see signs. It's written on the wall. Don't do this. Think about it this way at least. Why acquire a guy who doesn't want to be here? Seriously. You're going to give up draft capital. You're going to pay his contract. He's a horrible quarterback as it is. I think he's unfixable, or at least he's not fixable with the Bears. And on top of it, he doesn't prefer to be here. Why would you trade for him? For what reason? For what purpose? Would that make you a better team? No. You'd be about the same, if not worse. I don't understand it. Desperation makes you do things you really don't want to do. This is proof. I don't think the Bears really want Carson Wentz. I think what they want is a quarterback. And they know Wentz is not the best option. No question. But they need to make a splash. Jobs are on the line. The team's season is on the line. Something needs to happen for them to win. So apparently, that means bring in Wentz. That's the problem. I almost feel bad in a sense for Nagy and Pace. They have to make something happen. They have to do something to keep their jobs. My concern with this, though, is that you'd be giving up everything for a one-year fix with Wentz, and if it doesn't go well, you're fired. And the next guy who comes in is stuck with this burden. Stuck with the burden of no draft picks, Carson Wentz. And if you thought Mitch Trubisky couldn't play in this offense, wait till you see Wentz. Oh, Mitch needs so much help, it's way different, yeah? Carson Wentz does too. And if you don't have Allen Robinson, and your number one receiver is Darnell Mooney, good luck. To any quarterback, not just Wentz, anybody. So I get it. I know the Bears are in a tough position. But think long and hard before you make this decision, before you pull the trigger. Think about what could happen in the future. Think about what Wentz has already said. I don't get it. Why acquire a quarterback who doesn't want to be here? And why do the Bears believe they can fix him? That's a joke, right? They're quarterback breakers, not fixers. And that's not just Nagy and Pace, that's throughout history. They've never had a good quarterback. What makes you think Wentz will come in and be fine in this system, with his personnel and with that coach? They've become the Browns, I'm telling you. It's a fact. They've become the NFL's most undesirable location. If the NFL's worst quarterback doesn't want to come here, if he says, I prefer Indianapolis to Chicago, what does that say about the organization? What does that say about the team, those who run it, and the on-the-field product? No one's really said this yet. Everyone's chalking up Wentz's preference to his relationship with Frank Reich, and that's fine. But philosophically, think about that. The league's worst quarterback wants nothing to do with the Bears. That's a pretty damning statement. That, to me, equates the Bears to the Browns, where careers go to die, where they trusted Brock Osweiler, RG3, Derek Anderson, Colt McCoy, so many others, to be the guy. All of those guys went there or were there when they were on their last legs. You could argue today Carson Wentz is in that same boat, and guess what? He doesn't even want to come to the Bears. That, to me, makes them comparable, if not worse, than the Browns. That's pretty significant. That should tell you a lot about where they are right now and their situation. I mean, they're pushing for Wentz. And he said, nope, don't want to go there. Who knows what the offer is? Draft capital, I'm sure. Maybe an NFL player. Paying his contract. All of that. And he still doesn't want to come here. This is a worst-case scenario. Wentz doesn't want to be here. The Bears are pushing as hard as they can. They may give up too much. They may overpay. Why do it? You can't fix him. You might think you can. You can't. Mitch Trubisky is my witness. We all know the story there. Matt Nagy went out of his way to make sure that Mitch conformed to him. And at the end of the day, Mitch is gone, Nagy stays, and Mitch, like Wentz, is broken. So how is Wentz going to be in a different situation? What, Nagy's going to change for Wentz? I don't think so. I just ask everybody to think about this long and hard. To fans, to Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, all of them. Think about this. Think about what this means if it happens. Think about what happens to the Bears' future. Think about the fact that Wentz doesn't prefer Chicago. Wouldn't be a good fit. It'd be rocky from the beginning, and I wouldn't want any part of it. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Tom Waddle comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash, sportstalkchicago.com/cash. You must be 21 plus. You must be an Illinois resident. You could bet $250 free on any game you want for this upcoming weekend. NBA, college basketball. The NHL's back too. This is, without question, the best time to put down some money and make a whole lot more back. At sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.